there, I'm Bree, for those of you who don't know. This is my first attempt at video blogging. I am dyslexic, and so for years I do a lot of crafts, and for years I've had a lot of people ask me to do some of my stuff, like blog what I make and do, but I don't like, it takes me too long to write it all out step by step, and the spelling, and I leave things out, so instead I think I'm going to try video blogging it. So here's my first project, kind of a test for me and a test for you to try it out and see what you think. It's really simple. I get, my in-laws are wanting some coasters for Christmas. I should have brought some more in here. I could show you some of the ones I've made before. I've monogrammed on them with a stamp and a waterproof ink, like a pigment ink. But for this one, I found these really cool stones at Home Depot. They were $3.86 for a package of, I think there's 8 of them here. So $3.86 for these, like the real stone tile. So you'll need a package of these, a roll of cork or some form of cork. This comes in a roll. It's pretty thin at Michael's. And I would definitely recommend using your 50 or 40% off coupon with this. It's like $15. And now it would do 100 coasters, but I would use your 50% off coupon. And then you need Gorilla Glue. It comes in this box like this. And again, you can pick this up at Michael's or any craft store near you. And you'll need a pair of scissors, a pen, a damp paper towel, and I recommend like putting something down on your working surface. So I put like some saran wrap just on the counter because I'm just in my kitchen, as you can see. So this is a really easy project, and I'm going to, because this stone is so beautiful, I'm actually not going to stamp on it or change it. It's just a real natural, pretty stone, and it matches their house. So these are great coasters because natural stone actually soaks in some moisture. So instead of like when your cup sweats, instead of it rolling off on the counter and stuff, it will take these in. So the first thing you need to do is wash these stones really well. Because of time, of course, I've already done that, and you let them dry really well. And then when that is done, you'll need to cut your cork. I've already cut a piece, but I'm going to show you how to do that. Just roll your cork out. I hope you can see here in the corner where I'm working. And then I measure like off of my cork. So I kind of line it up on the back, the corner, like this. And then I off-center it a little. And then I would just flip it back to the front. And I would use my pen to trace around the edge of this cork. Like so. You can see the square I wrote there. Cut it out. Once you make one pattern, obviously just recreate 8 of these. Don't use the stone each time. I mean, the stones are close enough, and if you have to trim it, it's super simple. So here's this. Now I'm going to show you how it lined up on the back. For some reason, if it didn't line up, I would just hold it freehand, and I would just trim off what I need. Or if the corners were just a little too long, just snip each little corner. Not a big deal. I do recommend filling the entire back with cork. There's nothing worse than setting a cup down on a coaster that, like, you know, wobbles when you use it. The full piece of cork really prevents that from happening. So that's what I recommend. Now, like I said, I've already washed this. So now what I'm going to do, because Gorilla Glue requires you to dampen the surface, so dampen, and you'll be able to tell on these stones which is your working surface and which is not. One side is really rough, so. And then I just kind of glide the Gorilla Glue over it like this, just kind of squeezing and moving as I go, because I'm going to make sure it distributes really good when it's coming on in a really thin layer because you have to squeeze so hard, but you'll see how I'll make, hope you can see that. So I just like kind of squeezed it all over it. Yikes, it's making my eyes burn. It's a little strong. I've got a piece of paper towel on there. Okay, so now I'm just going to take the cork and I'm going to push it on here, and I'm going to kind of move it just a little to make sure that glue spreads out really well. And then what I would do is I'm going to leave it right here on my saran wrap. I'm going to push it down really hard, and I would leave it right here on my saran wrap. And it says clamp object together for 1 to 2 hours with a heavy object to achieve the clamping pressure. But you got to remember that this tile is kind of heavy, so that's really an unnecessary step to put anything on top of it. I mean, if you really wanted to be sure, I would just grab like a can from your kitchen and just set it on top of there, and that would be more than enough to hold it in place. And when you're done, you'll have this coaster that is completely ready to use. I'll show you it here, sitting there, and the entire back will be covered with cork. It's bubbling there because it's not set, but all right, so there it is for my first attempt at video blogging. I hope that you enjoyed it and that this is something that you can do.